भारत भाग्य विधाता। उच्चल जलति तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मागे, गावे तव जय गाथा। जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे। நீராடும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்த எழிலொழுகும் சீராடும் பதனமென திகழ் பரத கண்டனத்தில் எக்கணமும் மகிழ்ச்சிறந்த திராவிடங்கள் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிரிவுகளும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமும் அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறமையந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே. இல்லை பதியுடையார் சிற்றம்பலம் தன்னில் அல்லும் பகலும் நின்ற ஆடுகின்றார் எல்லை கண் அண்ணாமலை மண் அமைத்த கலைக்கழகம் கண்ணார கண்டு கழித்து மணி காட்டும் கோபுரம் போல் உயர்ந்த நெஞ்சும் மலை காட்டும் அகலம் போல் விரிந்த நோக்கும் பணி காட்டும் திருக்குறளி படிந்த வாழ்வும் பதவியெல்லாம் படி போல கடந்த பாங்கும் அணி காட்டும் தாமரையா அடைந்த மார்பும் ஆடையுமே உறவாக அணைக்கும் கையும் பிணி காட்டும் மருத்துவன் போல் பேணும் அன்பும் பெற்ற தமிழ் முத்தையவில் பெரியோன் வாழ்க பெற்ற தமிழ் முத்தையவில் பெரியோன் வாழ்க பெற்ற தமிழ் ராமசாமி பெரியோன் வாழ்க பெற்ற தமிழ் ராமசாமி பெரியோன் வாழ்க.
On behalf of Annamalai University, we extend a warm welcome to our Honorable Governor Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, other invitees, dignitaries on and off the dais, and the august audience to this one-day national seminar on G20 New Delhi Leadership Declaration, the role of Indian academia in formulating world order.
Lighting of the lamp signifies the illumination of the physical space. Similarly, the knowledge that gained will illuminate the minds of the participants. I request our Honorable Governor Chancellor, other dignitaries of the dais and invited speakers, Professor K. Kadresan, former Dean Faculty of Marine Sciences, Annamalai University, and Dr. Anantha Krishnan, Dean, MGM Medical College, Puducherry, to join in lighting the Uttam.
Please, sirs. Thank you, sirs. It's our privilege to invite our revered Vice Chancellor of Anamala University, Professor R. Kadresan, to welcome the august audience. Please, sir.
Good morning, all of you. Most respected and beloved Honorable Governor Chancellor, Shri R. Ravi ji, dignitaries on and off the dais, dear delegates, students, ladies and gentlemen. I take this opportunity to welcome wholeheartedly the most respected and beloved Honorable Governor Chancellor to this one-day national seminar. He has been the main architect and the inspiration behind organizing this seminar. I remember there was a circular from UGC, and after that, the Honorable Governor Chancellor took interest to write to all the Vice Chancellors to organize a seminar or conference regarding the outcome of New Delhi G20 declarations. And then he also personally instructed all the Vice Chancellors in a review meeting and suggested the ways and means by which this seminar need to be organized. And a genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. We, the Vice Chancellors in all the universities, derived that 1% inspiration from the Honorable Governor Chancellor, and we perspire to take the universities to staggering heights as directed and as envisioned by Honorable Governor Chancellor. This is the 5th university organizing this G20 national seminar after Alagappa, Anna, Periyar, and Manoran Sundarnath universities. Though this is 5th, this is a first of its kind. We have got registered delegates, about 300, partly sitting in another hall because the accommodation of this hall is only 1,500. We have 1,500 faculties, research scholars and students filling up this hall, and simultaneously by teleconferencing another hall is linked to this hall, and they are eagerly awaiting to listen to the guiding spirit and words of Honorable Governor Chancellor. Honorable Governor Chancellor is innovative, instrumental and inspirational in driving the academic activities of these universities in Tamil Nadu. He has been very keen in evincing interest, and I am sure I have been serving this institute for nearly 45 years. And in all my career of 50 years, I never had the opportunity to enter into Rajbhavan. And when Honorable Governor Chancellor bestowed the assignment of leading this university 2 years back, I have visited the Rajbhavan Chennai and Rajbhavan Ooty as well, many number of times. And not only myself, almost 24 faculties of this university have visited Rajbhavan. And more than that, double the amount, nearly 50 of the students of this university has visited Rajbhavan. So he is making Rajbhavan into Jan Bhavan and mingling with people, very actively participating in all the activities. And he is having innovative ideas, people who have not thought about it. Say for example, he has instructed all of us and guided us in taking up research on unsung freedom fighters and heroes of freedom. And every university is now taking up research on unsung freedom fighters. And I humbly submit the highest number within Tamil Nadu as per the directions of the Honorable Chancellor. 6 of our students in history and political science, they are taking up research on unsung freedom fighters. He has also guided us to translate as many textbooks as possible into the mother tongue Tamil, which has a very rich heritage, and he keenly evinces interest in following up, reviewing the progress of any assignment given to us. And recently, 2-3 days back, I had the opportunity of listening to him after our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji addressed the nation about Vikshit Bharat. And I take this opportunity to humbly submit before Honorable Chancellor to all the audience that I felt the happiest more than the occasion when I had the degrees, more than the occasion when I was given the assignment of leading the university on that day, 2 days back, when Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi was mentioning the name of Andaman University, one among the 7 universities that he mentioned. Sir, we all will bestow all our efforts, dedicate our soul to heightening the academic activities of this university, because our university has become the only university to be mentioned by Honorable Prime Minister Sri Modi ji. We wholeheartedly thank him for that. Only 2 universities in South India and only 1 university in Tamil Nadu, and that is Andaman University. And when it was mentioned by Honorable Prime Minister, I thought that that is the highest accreditation, more than the accreditation we got from NAC or AICT or NBA or ICA. We are delighted to have the word pronounced by Honorable Prime Minister. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. I thank wholeheartedly the Prime Minister and Honorable Chancellor. This university, on the other day during Vikshit Bharat, Honorable Chancellor and Prime Minister were mentioning about reaching the unreached. This is a specific university about reaching the unreached. We are socio-economically disadvantaged in location. We don't charge heftily as the private universities charge in any tier 1 city. We are in a remote corner. We take minimal fee, and we serve around 100,000 students on affiliated colleges, 100,000 students in distance education, and 20,000 students on campus, probably the biggest in Tamil Nadu, in respect of student strength, in respect of financial involvement, in respect of everything else. Not only that, we have 1,200 teaching faculties, and we serve the rural masses in terms of agriculture, in terms of engineering, in terms of medicine and dentistry, in terms of arts, science, education, Indian languages, marine sciences, and we have around 10 faculties and 55 departments. Earlier, we had a best practice followed in the university called NEST, Neighborhood Empowerment Through Science and Technology. And with the guidance of Honorable Governor Chancellor, now we have just slightly modified for the next 5 years. Our best practice will be TEST, Tribal Empowerment Through Science and Technology. And our university has been trying to get in international organizations. Our alumni spread over different countries. We have a very strong alumni network spread over different countries across the globe. And all of them are coming in. There is one Seattle, India alumni group that takes up tribal population in Kolli Hills. And we have trained from the tribal women folk on computer science. And we are taking up technologies like rice fish poultry farming. We are taking up technologies from engineering. And different technologies we evolve here. They serve the rural mass, and some of the rice varieties released by our faculties, they have been serving the rural masses in neighboring states, not only in Tamil Nadu. And this conference is for defining the role of academia in G20 leadership declaration. Earlier to this G20 declaration itself, the university is serving not only the rural masses in and around the locality, but a global community we are serving. We have been serving with our technologies in countries like Nepal, South Asian countries, and we have been collaborating with international and national partners, sponsors. And I would like to bring up only one information before the Honorable Chancellor. Immediately after the success of Chandrayaan-3, the Washington Post in US, they came up with an editorial. That editorial was reading, India will definitely become a superpower very soon. The reason being, the team that led to the success of Chandrayaan-3 comprised of not the core graduates that are coming out from creamy institutes in Tier 1 cities. Not from IITs, IISCs, and not from any other creamy private university in Tier 1 city. The Chandrayaan-3 project team comprised young youth. I repeat the words read in Washington Post. They were ladies clad in saris with strings of jasmine flower on their hair. The Chandrayaan-3 team. So this youth power from the rural mass of India will definitely make India a superpower. That is what Washington Post was referring to the success of Chandrayaan-3. So we are serving the cause of the country. Our graduates go to serve the nation, the national agencies, government organizations. Our graduates, they don't go to serve Microsoft or Google or any other multinational corporation. So the youth, those who emerge from this university and the universities of this state, they go a long way in serving the rural mass, and definitely we will take up all your directions, Honorable Governor Chancellor Sir. We will strive ourselves very hard in the task of enlightening the youth regarding Vikshit Bharat 2047 and also regarding G20 declarations. So with these words, I welcome Honorable Governor Chancellor, and we have elite speakers today. We have Professor B. Thiruvalluvan, Vice Chancellor, Tamil University, Tanjavur, who is going to talk about linguistics, bondage between the population and Tamil, a classical example. And we have Professor S. Mohan, Vice Chancellor, Pondicherry Technological University, who will be talking about the role of technology in evolving world order. We have Professor Ananthakrishnan, Dean, Mahatma Gandhi Medical College and Research Institute, who will be talking about the role of healthcare in enacting the world order. We have the Bharat Biotech in India, which had the vaccine of Covaxin that was serving millions of people around the world. And we have one Dr. V. Veerappan, who is the co-founder and president of Dissolve Semiconductors from Bangalore. He will be talking about the digital infrastructure. And we have Professor K. Kadresan, our formerly retired Dean of Faculty of Marine Sciences, who will be talking about biodiversity conservation in coastal ecosystem. I welcome all the elite speakers. I heartily welcome the members of the syndicate. I welcome the registrar, controller of examinations. I welcome all the officials from Raj Bhavan, the deans of faculties. I welcome the heads of the departments. I welcome all the teaching colleagues and non-teaching employees, the participants of the seminar, particularly all research scholars and students. I welcome the district administrative officials. I welcome all other distinguished guests. And most importantly, reaching the unreached is possible only through the press and media. They have been our support all throughout. I welcome all the press and media persons. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir. It's time to honor our beloved chief guest. May now request Professor R. Kadresan, our revered Vice Chancellor, to come forward to honor our most esteemed and honorable Governor Chancellor. Please, sir.
Thank you, sir. We request Professor V. Thiruvalluvan, Vice Chancellor of Tamil University, Tanjavur, to offer his felicitations. Please, sir.
தேடிச்சோறு நிதம் தின்று பல சின்னஞ்சிறு கதைகள் பேசி மனம் வாடி துன்பம் மிக உடன்று பிறர் வாட பல செயல்கள் செய்து நரை கூடி கிழப்பருவம் எய்தி கொடும் கூற்றுக்கு இறையனப்பின் மாயும் பல வேடிக்கை மனிதரைப் போலே நான் வீழ்வேன் என்று நினைத்தாயோ என்ற பாரதியின் வரிகளை இங்கே காணிக்கையாக்கி என்னுடைய பாராட்டுரையை தொடங்குகின்றேன். Most Honorable Governor Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor of Formulating University, Professor R.M. Kadiresan, the Vice Chancellor of Puducherry Technological University, Puducherry, Professor S. Morgan, the Registrar of our University, other academic scholars, teachers, student friends, good morning to all. Greetings and salutation to the August Assembly, the Governor Chancellor and the Vice Chancellors. It is an honor for me to stand here today and offer a felicitation speech on this auspicious occasion. Today, we are here to celebrate the achievements and successes of our peers who have worked hard to reach their goals and make a difference in their own lives and in the lives of others. Before we start the seminar, I would like to express my gratitude towards you all who sincerely contributed to this event in order to make it a success. This would not have been possible without the support of each and everyone present here. It's my immense pleasure and privilege to be a part of this symposium and share a few words on the theme of the seminar. The New Delhi Leaders Declaration is an official, non-binding declaration that seeks to place emphasis on strong, sustainable, balanced, and inclusive growth. The declaration was adopted following the joint consensus during the 2023 G20 New Delhi Summit. On September 10, the G20 New Delhi Summit was held in New Delhi, hosted by India as G20 presidency, and Mr. Kishida Fumio, Prime Minister of Japan, attended it. The Group of 20 G20 is the premier forum for international economic cooperation. It plays an important role in shaping and strengthening global architecture and governance on all major international economic issues. India holds the presidency of the G20 from 1st December 2022 to 30th November 2023. Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji made the big announcement which the government described as a historic and path-breaking India's G20. Sherpa Amitabh Kant said on Saturday that the New Delhi Declaration, running into 38 paragraphs, was adopted with 100% consensus on all developmental and geopolitical issues. All acts of terrorism and criminal and unjustifiable, regardless of their motivation, wherever, whenever, or by whomever they are committed. The document emphasizes protecting the vulnerable through promoting equitable growth and enhancing macroeconomic and financial stability. The G20 group, 19 countries and the EU was established in 1999 as platform for finance minister and central bank governors to discuss international economic and financial issues. Martin and Summers conceived of the G20 in response to the series of massive development crises that had spread across emerging markets in the late 1990s, beginning with the Mexican Pasco crisis and followed by the 1997 and followed by the 1997 Asia financial crisis and eventually impacting the United States. India With a population of over 1.3 billion and the world's seventh largest economy, has emerged as a major player in world affairs. India has played a significant role in promoting peace and stability in the world and has been actively involved in various international organizations, including the United Nations. In addition to its economic role, India is also a major political and military power. The country is the world's second largest contributor to United Nations peacekeeping operations and is a nuclear armed state with one of the largest militaries in the world. India is also a member of a number of important international organizations, including the United Nations, the World Trade Organization, and the G20. All these factors make India a significant player on the global stage. The country's influence is only likely to grow in the years ahead, making it an important country to which, in today's seminar, our honorable guests would like to shift their focus to our youth, particularly volunteers who work relentlessly towards the common goals, that is, empowering the youth of our country and spreading awareness about the issues that concern us in the contemporary times. People who have been chosen for today's event have been chosen for a reason, that is, due to their mutual passion. Your passion for a common goal helps us to bring you all together and unite the energy in the realization of these goals, whether on an individual level or a group level. We all need each other for the fulfillment of our common goals, and that's why it makes our resolution even stronger. In the coming months, you all will be made to learn what all are the different ways in which we can plan our different activities, special events, seminars, where you will be able to be a part of these activities and also get hands-on experience. I hope it will help you become smarter and more productive. In order to help our nation achieve an overall development in all the sectors of society, it becomes very important to tap the energy of our youth in the right way. Otherwise, none can prevent that nation from facing a steep decline. Clearly, our youth is the future face of your country, and they have an infinite store of energy with them in addition to great ideas. Therefore, if they are provided with the right platform and abundant opportunities, they are likely to shine like a star. Luckily, in the present time, there is no dearth of opportunities available in various fields, whether it's education, entertainment, spirituality, science and technology, health, fashion, etc. Now there is a wider scope available, and your youth can realize their potential to the maximum by undergoing vigorous training sessions. I strongly feel that acting collectively is the need of the hour, and uniting our youth for a common cause can work wonders. It is my most sincere hope that owing to our relentless endeavors, the seminar will help our youth take strong resolutions on how they can move closer towards the attainment of their goals. I thank the organizers for giving this wonderful opportunity. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. Now I cordially invite Professor S. Mohan, Vice Chancellor of Puducherry Technological University, Puducherry, to offer his felicitations. Please, sir.
Very good morning, Kale Vanakangal. Most respected His Excellency Through R. N. Ravi, Honorable Governor and Chancellor of Annamalai University, Professor Thiruvalluvan, Vice Chancellor, Tamil University, Professor Kadiresan, Vice Chancellor, Annamalai University, Professor K. Kadiresan, our mangroves man, and all other dignitaries in the dais of the dais. It is indeed a great pleasure for me to be part of this particular national seminar. My association with Annamalai University dates back to 1986 onwards. After I joined IIT Madras, I came as a laboratory examiner, external examiner, Professor Murugappan is here. So along with him, we have been associating with Annamalai University, and it's always a pleasure to come over here and cherish our memories. Especially, this university has produced many world leaders. I think when I had last week, our alumni have come, and many of them were mentioning about Annamalai University. So thank you very much for making this university as a wonderful university. And as Professor Gadaresh mentioned, I was also part of this Viksit Bharat celebration at Raj Niwas, Pondicherry. At that time, our Honorable Prime Minister has mentioned about Annamalai University. That's a real, we are all proud, even though we are not part of Annamalai University, but we are all proud that this university has been mentioned by the Prime Minister. And in that, he has also categorically said that Bharat Nirman is in the hands of the youth. I think this is the message that every one of the students who can really, with a lot of curiosity, innovative ideas, and also the lateral thinking ideas, that makes our country really very high. In fact, after my PhD, I went to Cornell University for my postdoc, but I had a great opportunity to work there, but I wanted to come to our country and serve for our country. So I am really very happy that our country is progressing very well, and G20 is one of the event where all the participants from all over the world looked at India, and we are going to be the world leaders as it. I would like to say that today we stand the threshold of a new era in global leadership and also policy making. The significance of this seminar is really emphasized by the critical topics what have been chosen for the discussion. It is really very good. In fact, I can say this is the only country which has put down in the constitution on 51F that protecting environment is the responsibility of every citizen. No other country had put down in constitution that a protection of environment is our duty. So I think the people who have developed the constitution had great care for environment, automatically, sustainability, and also definitely if trees are not there, then we may not be able to live as it. In fact, tree I am really quoting as an example because there is nothing called waste in trees. Whatever the leaves falls below, that also become a food for the same tree. And finally, it pumps the water what it is required. It lives in the natural energy. There is no extra food and so on. So we should always look at tree as an example for our life also philosophically. And the role of technology in the new world is pivotal. And also the innovation is not finding a new invention, but I would always say that innovation is solving a complex our day-to-day problem. I take one example that we have to look at the solid waste management. This solid waste management is not being managed, and this is responsible by all our citizens. It is not the government job. It is we are throwing a lot of things. So I wanted the students or the young innovators to look at some kind of a model where artificial intelligence, machine learning, or data mining can be used to solve this kind of problem. Or whenever the education it is not going to be used for the society, for the betterment of society, I think the science will be there in only the paper. So unless we take our research or our innovations into the field, it may not be possible or people may not appreciate that our technology or our contribution to society is not up to the mark. We also, the health care, I am really very happy that developments have gone such a way that these augmented AR, VR techniques it is possible that the US doctor can operate a patient here in Annamalai University or whatever it is. So now the technology has grown up. So now it is our duty that we should also look for some help to the agriculture. Unfortunately, we have been spending a lot of efforts on industry upgradation, but I think we need to spend some time for agriculture upgradation also. So that's my sincere request that we may have to really look at, and we are not putting that effort as the industry for the agriculture. I think agriculture is a backbone of our country, and more than 67% of the population is involved in agriculture. I think we may have to, since Professor Kadresan is also agriculture field, we need to do something on that as a collective effort to make our country more prosperous in terms of agriculture. Even though there is a lot of climate change problems and also the heat wave problems and the seawater side, but still I think we can manage that particular one with our own health asset. So, and also, in my opinion, the biodiversity and the agriculture is intertwined. If we lose a lot of biodiversity, our agriculture also is getting affected as such for a long time. So my sincere effort, we have to see how we can leverage the technology to create a future that is not only prosperous but equitable and also sustainable. The sustainable development, even though Brundtland Commission only take the credit, but actually our Mahatma Gandhi, our father of the nation, has told very clearly, nature has given all the resources for man's need, not for his greed. That is a real principle of sustainable development. Unfortunately, he did not get the name. The Brundtland Commission got the name ASEAN. But I think, and also he has said, I still remember that he said very clearly, whatever you are doing harmfulness to the environment, it is nothing but that you are doing the harmfulness for your humankind itself. So that means it is always தமிழ்ல சொன்னோம்னா சொந்த செலவுல செய்யணும்னு வச்சுக்கிற மாதிரி. So அந்த மாதிரி தான் whatever we are doing for the environment. So let us take care of this environment, and we have been living very well. I would like to quote one example where the traditional practices we may have to sometime revive on it. I remember when I was in my village, we had kitchen, the water goes out, and we have a papaya tree, a mango tree, and plus a guava tree, and all these things which has only 1% pollution will get all those dust or whatever it is organic will be taken by the plant, and the water will go to the well. So it is only a decentralization and a simple circular kind of economy at that particular point of time. But now every house has a connection to something, and we have to pump all the water. For that, energy is really required, and again treat it and then send it somewhere. Sometime without treatment also it goes. So my request is the responsibility we are now passing on to somewhere else. But I would like that we have to revive the system, that we may have to recycle our own water, recycle our own solid waste, so that it is actually only 1% pollution that it is there in your water, what it comes out. If you can do two small filters, one is sand filter, another is activated carbon, you can reuse even for drinking. So that way, the technology has to be more practical application, and then try to be involved in it. That's what my request, that the innovation need not be from the higher end institution. The innovation can come from any mind. And now I think the research clearly says everyone has the same kind of brain. Only thing is how you use it is matters a lot. So let us make these particular thing little more. And also I would request that, in my opinion, this seminar provides a unique opportunity for public-private partnership as well as regulator-innovator partnership and academia industry partnership. I think mainly for development of our country. And let us all contribute positively and make this ecosystem, whatever is happening, not only for industry developed action, but also for agriculture developed action. So, and also our traditional practices which were sustainable. The traditional practices have been checked for its worthless for many, many years by our forefathers. So let us adapt the same thing so that we ourselves become sustainable on our own. Today, more people have access to many financial services regardless of their location or social status owing to the robust digital public infrastructure like Aadhaar and affordable internet and mobile phone services. So I am really imagining that after maybe 2047, innovation is no longer a buzzword, but it is a part of day-to-day life. So that is what we try to look at it, and I hope that this kind of a seminar, and I really congratulate Annamalai University has taken this task with the guidance of our Chancellor, and it is this seminar is a testimony for all our commitment or renovated commitment to make innovation which may be helpful for the local people or the society. If it is not going to be helpful for society, I think there is no use of any technology. So whatever the technology we are getting, it has to be put out into the limelight by making the people to work on it. And I'm really very happy to be participate on it. Let us all renew our commitment to realize the G20 theme as one future and one earth. I think that it is very clearly brought out and also one generation. We must embrace the spirit of global cooperation to make the benefits of technological advancement and innovation available to all of us. I am deeply honored to be part of this significant event. I look forward to the enriching discussion and insights that will emerge during the course. And I am really very happy having served in this technological thing in IIT Madras and also as a Vice Chancellor here. And I am sure that Annamalai University will go greater height, and wish you all the best with all the kind of a great happening that it is there. I also wish very best to all the organizers who have done a very good, tremendous job, and let us give a big hand for them who have organized this. And also, I am really confident that we can and we have demonstrated the power of collaboration, and also many innovations have come up from our side. Before I conclude, I would like to say, before the English people invade our country, we were the best textile people and we were the best agriculture people. Let us revive back to that particular, and also very good in philosophy or education. That's why many people were coming, and I think we have to revive back to that particular situation so that we may have to do an innovation which may be helping the day-to-day textile people also. Those who are wearing or weaving the sarees or weaving the towels, they should get the new technology, and agriculture also. So with these two demand, I also want one more request that we need a lot of skilled people. One point is that we have only around 4% of the people before taking up the job, they are skilled. And whereas the Korea, it is 97% of the people is skilled. And whereas USA it is around 82, UK is 90. I think we have to thrive the skill development in a much more way, and that are all possible only by all our faculty who can inculcate the skill development. I sincerely request Tamil Nadu should have a skill development university separately, only for the skill development rather than for other studies. So with this request, I really thank Annamalai University, especially Professor Kadresan, for inviting me and to have a great chance to sit by the governor of the Tamil Nadu, with, to whom I have a great respect. Thank you very much, sir, for giving me that. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
G20 is an intergovernmental forum that brings together the world's 20 largest economies and plays a key role in coordinating global economic policies and promoting financial stability. It also works to address global economic challenges and promotes sustainable development around the world. It inspires us to think about how we can create a more prosperous and equitable world for all. In this line of thinking, our Honorable Governor Chancellor directed universities to conduct such seminars to have deliberations. Accordingly, after Alagappa University, Anna University, MS University, and Periyar University, Annamalai University takes pride in conducting this one-day national seminar on G20 New Delhi Leadership Declaration, role of Indian academia in formulating world over. We are eagerly awaiting to hear from our Honorable Governor Chancellor, so we humbly request our esteemed and Honorable Governor Chancellor to deliver his presidential address. Sir, we are really honored by your august presence. Thank you, sir. Please.
Professor R.M. Kadresan, Vice Chancellor of this university and the host of the event, Professor S. Mohan, Vice Chancellor of Tertiary Technology University, Professor D. Valuvan, Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor R. Singarwal, Registrar in Charge, Annamalai University, distinguished faculties, researchers, scholars, distinguished invitees, my dear friends. I'm delighted to be here this morning. This university, it represents some of the core Indian values. We know that this university has contributed immensely to our national freedom movement. It has produced a number of leaders of this who gave momentum to our freedom movement. This university also reflects a core Indian values that the society did not look upon to government for doing good. Society can do good by itself. And so, at that point of time, a visionary soul created this institution, which turned out to be an institution of excellence, a rich and proud history of intellectual and social growth. Today, we are here to discuss, to talk, to listen on an emerging world order and what India has done in recent past and what our academia can do to take it forward. We know that the world order has been a dynamic thing or a phenomenon. Before the Second World War, the world was largely Europe-centric. European powers had colonized almost the entire part of the world, the entire America, North and South, entire Africa, a larger part of Asia, and of course, Australian continent. They had prospered by the wealth from the colonies. They dominated the world. Second World War changed the situation, and then Europe went behind. The lead was taken by the United States of America and the Soviet Union. One power center shaping and influencing the world was in America, and the second was in Asia. Europe was behind. Over the decades, Soviet disintegrated, and for a while, it looked like it was an unipolar world, with the United States of America at the center. But then subsequently, other powers started emerging, rise of China. It has been in a flux. The fact is that out of this flux, a new world is emerging. What is our role? What is the role of India? We know that the world order shaped after the Second World War was essentially based on wealth and military power. Those who were rich, those who were militarily powerful, they began deciding the destiny of the world. And that created, over 7 decades, or almost nearly 8 decades, a world which seems to be at the threshold of facing major existential challenges. The climate is one, conflict is another. This world order was created to create a peaceful world. But this world has always been afflicted, even after that, with one or other kind of conflict. Visible conflicts, invisible conflicts. There are countries in the world, and many of them, which have so much weapons of mass destruction that each of them can destroy the world many times over. So it's a very unstable equilibrium. Somewhere something goes wrong, someone goes crazy, and the world is gone. We see the consequences of the climate crisis. The earth is heating up. Elements are in fury, and more frequently than ever before, we are facing the consequences of it. We know that poverty has not been mitigated. A large part of humanity is still living in poverty. And certainly this cannot be, and it cannot let any peaceful and stable world emerge or to stay. Then you have such a large number of people who are poor and deprived. You know that this world order is not inclusive. A large part of humanity has no voice in it. Now, a world order based on wealth and military power and driven by ideologies. Ideology of the West is capitalistic model of growth. Ideology of the Soviets was socialistic model of growth. In the capitalist model of growth, it tells us that a rich person is rich because of his or her merit, his enterprise, industry. So, they deserve to be rich. And the poor are not enterprising. They are lazy. And perhaps they are responsible for their own fate. It's essentially an economic version of Darwin theory of evolution. Darwin, we know, survival of the fittest. One who is a crooked, one who is a smart, one who is a cunning will survive. And so it has made a virtue of it. And so, no room for compassion, no room for thinking about other fellow human beings. The other problem, it believed, again, its ideological underpinning, dialectical materialism. It believes humans as moving hydrocarbons. It's all a chemical reaction. And society is divided between have and have-nots, and they are in perpetual conflict. And eventually there will be an utopia that will emerge. We have seen what these ideologies and the world order driven by these ideologies have left behind, what they have bequeathed and what they are doing. While we know what is happening with respect to conflict resolutions, with respect to poverty alleviation, with respect to climate, even during the pandemic, just we are coming out of it. When it has struck the world without sparing anyone, here again, the rich and advanced countries, they looked at it as an opportunity to make more money. The World Health Organization, it failed in giving proper warning to the people. By the time the virus had spread over, only then the warning came. It did not play a fair role even in vaccine approval. It it showed how manipulated and how manipulative World Health Organization was at the time of global pandemic. It came in the way of Indian vaccine being given around to the world because they took enormous amount of time, putting all kinds of objections and questions and queries before they came because they couldn't accept that presence. So, this is not a sustainable order, and it is yielding, it is decaying. When China started emerging in this 21st century, at the time there were some hopes that a country, developing country, which has an Asian country with Asian values, should be able to provide relief to the world. But what happened? When China started rising, it created discomfort to the world through debt burdens, creating debt burdens to the countries, giving them building infrastructure which were not productive, and thereby putting those countries in a debt trap. We have our neighbor, Sri Lanka, is an example. Non-productive assets were built, and Sri Lanka had to cede its sovereignty over border its territory, and even on the policy. Global common, like South China Sea, which is a global common, it turned into a Chinese lake by reclaiming the rocks and reefs, barriers, and putting their military assets, affecting and impacting the free navigation, and depriving the other literal countries of their legitimate right of which they had over exclusive economic zone. All the countries around, they were pushed back. So it was a hegemonistic rise. It created, again, a sense of worry in the world. And then there was no ray of hope anymore. The world order was unsustainable, exclusive, and inequitable. Now, in this backdrop, India hosts G20 presidency. Just about 2 weeks back, we are formally, our presidency is over. But what India did? India presented a model. The declaration, the G20 declarations, the leaders' declaration, Delhi declaration as we call it, is a reflection of a new future for the world, a new model of growth and development. A new model of growth and development which are imbued in Indian values. And that is the core of it. And how did we succeed it? If we look at our country's post-British history, when the British left and we became independent, the country moved on a path of development. But what was the model? Was it Indian model? Or was it a model of one of the two? The capitalist model or the socialist model of this? Broadly, though people say we were confused, but the fact is we are sometimes taking this, sometimes taking that. But essentially it was a socialistic, so-called socialistic model of growth. And when we say socialistic model of growth, it was essentially meant making virtue out of poverty, distribution of freebies, rather than empowering the poor, we made virtue out of poverty. Instead of relying on the enterprise of the citizens, a state largely became the dispenser of welfare. And it created such a huge sense of dependency that the people and government became a relationship developed with their patron and client. For everything and everything, people would go to the government and government is to with their own limited resources and with all the trappings of the government. The result was that with all that we kept doing, building infrastructure, building schools, building hospitals, getting various domains we kept developing, but we remained because we did not think of adopting an Indian model of development. When we say, what is Indian model of development? Of course, we did a lot. We made great achievements in the field of science and technology. We also made tremendous progress in agriculture. A country which was left starving by the British, the country became food sufficient thanks to our agricultural scientists and the farmers. But the general situation in the country remained such that such a large and populous country remained unheard, remained at the margin of the world affairs. For long, we remained the second largest populous country. Today, we are perhaps the most populous country. But beyond that, our voice was not heard because we were confused. We were not able to give a credible model or hope to the world because we remained ourselves sick, poor, deprived. Now, what happened in recent years? In the recent years, we tried to create our own Indian model of development and growth. And in this Indian model of development and growth, we don't accept Darwin, we don't accept dialectical materialism that humans are moving hydrocarbons. Our Indian values tell us that we are all members of the family. Because of the Darwinian model of development in our country so far, we had it led to growth of huge inequalities. Some areas became what they called Bimaru, sick. Some areas developed, north, south, east, west. And even in the developed, relatively developed states and areas, there were areas of underdevelopment. There were huge imbalances. Because our model of development was that, okay, if I come from a particular area, I will nurse my constituency at the cost of others. Even in our own state, we have seen how there is a divide between south and the north, west and the east. Political power became an instrument of patronage, economic patronage. Again, Darwinian. We did look at this country does not deserve a fate. We all know heard a speaker speaking that still until some years, some centuries ago, we were advanced in textile and other sectors. We were advanced in every sector. Read the report of the global economy from the first century onward, OECD report, Angus Madison's book, which was commissioned by the OECD. From the first century till 19th century, until 18th century, India was the largest GDP. We were the largest producer of steel and iron. We were the largest producer of the best of the textiles. We were the largest producers of the leather and leather works. We were most advanced in the shipbuilding industry. In many fields, it was for no other, nothing, it was not for nothing that India was the largest economy in the world. But we lost. And we started, instead of going to our roots and finding out who we were and how did we achieve that, we started imitating others. But now, with this model, the development, the growth with Indian model, including, which is at the core of it, is our people. What is called? This is why you have seen the term used in this present G20 leadership declaration is not a GDP-centric growth, it is a human-centric growth. And when we say human-centric growth means every human being is an integral part of our family and must be taken care of. And with this model, what Prime Minister says, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas. Everyone. It is the Western model was greater good for the greater number. Even the Soviet model was also greater good for the greater good. Let the poor be punished, let the rich be punished, and let the proletariat grow. In the process, they didn't do much good to the proletariats. But this greater good of the greater number, which is an ideologically flawed Western notion, European notion, it is not our notion. It's not our notion. In our values, humans are not moving hydrocarbon, or we are not just here a model of Darwin. There is something called compassion. That compassion comes from our values, which makes us believe that Vasudeva Kutumbakam, these values, when it is put in practice. Today, till about a decade ago, nobody heard us. Today, the world looks at India with expectation. Expectation to solve the problems of the world. We have done it, and we are doing it. Take the case of poverty. You could have read the report published by not only Niti Aayog and even some other research bodies have published it. Nearly 14 crore people, 140 million people have been pulled out of multidimensional poverty in the last about a decade. From the 10th largest economy, we reached the 5th, and we are poised to be the 3rd. We are among the top startup ecosystem in the world. We are the most digitalized country in the world. We are the country which largest number of digital transactions happening every day. 45% of the global digital transactions happen in this country today. From less than 500 startup, we have more than 125,000 startups. These are all being done by our young men and women. To iron out the imbalances which was created by the Darwinian model of growth. We also adopted what is called aspirational district. And even in our own state, there are districts which are backward, they have been selected. And a special effort made to pull these districts up at par with others. So while the basic ingredients of healthy citizenship like health, education, access to potable water, drinking water, cooking gas, electricity must be made available to every citizen. And we are almost achieving the target. We also try to take care of imbalances which was created in terms of underdeveloped, undeveloped districts and developed districts. Side by side, one is advanced. This model of development and growth, which is human-centered. Today, we are growing with our values. Our values are determining and shaping our policies. Government is not a patron, is not a my-baap, mother, father. It is the people. Trusting people, their energy, their enterprise, and they will deliver it. When 125,000 of our startups today, it was just not government job. All that the government did is to try to ease the situation, remove the obstacles, and put trust in them. You can do it. And you must have the courage to fail and rise again. Today, we know that more than 40 crore of our people, and 70% of them are our women. They have taken mudra loan, 23 lakhs crore. Average loan is 75,000 rupees. Our earlier thinking was, what can you do in 50,000? Little realizing that with this money, a lady can start a small tea shop. And she lives with dignity, she also gives a job to others. We also talked about, all these years we talked about women empowerment. We talked a lot. But we never thought of building toilets for the women in the schools and colleges. And how would the women go and study if we do not have toilets? The 60% of our country was going through open defecation. And we took it as a cultural issue. Nobody talked about it. But the same country, our same people, within a couple of years, we made this country open defecation free. This is the power of the people. This is the power of trusting the people, their enterprise, their energy. When technology started coming in the world, Industrial Revolution onward, even before, those who had the technology, they were ahead, those who didn't have. It also created a lot of inequality in the world. And as the technology started moving faster, growing faster, there was a fair chance of this creating a greater inequality. But what is happening in this country today? Technology has been democratized, it has reached the last man. The trinity of Jan, Jandhan, Aadhaar and Mobile, it has made it has done wonders. The world acknowledges it, calls it as a logistical marvel. The world advanced countries are studying. Even during the COVID pandemic, the way we managed, the way, not only that our scientists did the vaccines, but the application of vaccines and our COVID application. You get the vaccine immediately on your mobile, you get your certificate, you have been vaccinated, your movement becomes easier. No country in the world could do that. And the beauty is, we did not patent it. Because Indian value says that things are public good. Technology of public good should not be monopolized for money. So we have not, India has not patented COVID. Instead, it is sharing the COVID, those who are willing to come. There are many countries who are coming. When it comes to the climate, it is this country which has taken the lead. We are almost 18% of the world's population. Our contribution to carbon emission is less than 5%. And we can boast rightly say that we are not responsible. But no, we don't say that. Instead, we have started taking measures to be carbon free. And look at, in the last couple of years, we have looked at and we have started tapping alternate sources of energy, non-carbon sources of safe energy. When 2015 Prime Minister gave a call, we'll have a solar arise, we'll look upon the sun god. All through centuries, through thousands of years, we have worshipped sun. And sun has inexhaustible energy. Can't we look at him and get the energy? At the time in 2015, when the Prime Minister said there were not many countries were coming forward, even in our own country, there were skeptics who mocked at it. Today, there are more than 100 countries who have joined the International Solar Alliance led by India. Our own solar energy, production has gone more than 22 times, less than 3 gigawatt of solar energy. Today we have over 70 gigawatt of solar energy. We have taken a bold target. By 2030, 50% of our energy need will be carbon free, so from the carbon free sources. And we are confident we will achieve it before that. We have already crossed 40% of our energy, about 2 years back. When it comes to sustainable agriculture, because when we talk about, one speaker mentioned about our Constitution 51, which talks about fundamental duties, that about environment. Environment has been part of our Indian values. We are the country which worships elements, which worships trees, we worship rivers. And in my childhood, and I'm sure all of you would have witnessed that, in the villages, before we cut the tree, we used to worship. Sorry, forgiveness, I need it. That is why. It was a tree was not an object, was not a source of money. That cut the tree and make money. Even today in the tribal areas, not only in the northeast but in the rest of the country, they have a concept of what they call sacred grove. Every village has a sacred grove, an area where no one touches a twig of any tree. It is worshipped. In our day-to-day rituals, we invoke the rivers and we pray. Living, because in our Indian values, we are not the Lord and Master of the world and the creation. That is a Darwinian model. That is a capitalist model. Neither we are moving hydrocarbons. Here, we are part of the larger creation, an integral part of the creation. Everyone is connected with everyone. And so, we live in harmony, we live in balance. It comes to agriculture now. We know that for long we have followed the model of use excessive chemical fertilizers, pesticide, and we are seeing the consequences. Now we have moved to natural farming, agricultural farming, climate resilient farming. Climate resilient. We have, in our country, we have estates. We have states which, on the old model of agriculture, they have become today a basket case. From the most prosperous, the leading agricultural state in the country, Punjab suffered so severely because Punjab is not so much water rich. It was good for wheat, it was good for millet, but they started cultivating rice because rice gives money. And they started exploiting using chemical fertilizers, pesticides, taking out the groundwater. The water table started going down, soil turned fallow, and today, from the state which used to have almost 2.5% of growth, agricultural production higher than the national average, today it has gone below the national average. Today we are moving towards natural agriculture, natural organic farming. Millet, the area where you do not have sufficient water, is climate resilient. And I'm happy when I visit the states, now in different parts of our state. I have seen in south, especially in south of Tamil Nadu, very young people. And in some cases, IITians, product of one couple I was quite impressed. Husband, wife, both of them are from IIT Madras, and they are doing millet cultivation in Ramanathapuram district. I found they have done it, and they have been wonderful. In 10 years, they have reached a stage where they are giving job to more than 45 people. Happily, it's wonderful to look at. Many parts I have seen. This is one example I took. A movement, a revolution is happening. Revolution towards sustainable growth, sustainable agriculture. And when it comes to making an inclusive world, G20, we were the country which India took the lead, saying that, look, Africa is such a large continent, home to such a large number of people, cannot be at the margin of world bodies or the bodies that claim to shape the destiny of the world. They have to be included. When we say inclusive, we demonstrated it. And when India took the lead, and it created an environment where nobody could say no. And today African Union is a member of it. Now G20 leadership declaration, as we talk about, is not just a document. It is a statement, a reflection, a compass for the future. It is determined by Indian values, where we need to have a world which is inclusive, which is equitable, and which is sustainable. And willy-nilly, the world is coming out. The declaration may be non-binding, it's okay. In international affairs, we do not have binding treaties all the time. But the fact that the countries, they got together and they accepted in principle that yes, this is the way to go forward. This is the way for a safer future. This is a step one. That in principle you have accepted this is the way forward. And now, what next? What next is, it is again our responsibility. And that is why even the G20 presidency is over, its spirit is not over. It will spirit continue to guide us, illuminate us, inspire us for years to come. And that is why we need to keep doing it, talking about it, deliberating over it, and doing whatever we can do in years to come. India, today the world is looking at India and accepting India. What India says, because India is demonstrating the change, development that is happening. India has become a laboratory for the world to look at. Poverty alleviation, India is an example. Digitalization of technology, India is an example. Sustainable agriculture, sustainable environment, India is an example. Prime Minister gave a call, life. Life is time for environment. Yes, this has to be a movement. Again, this is not a government-driven plan. It is, the idea is ours. It's not something that, this idea is inherent in our DNA for several thousand years. What the Prime Minister has done is only discover it and put it in the front. Look, this is how it is. Now, we need to be proud of our heritage, those ancient values. And how do we do that? I heard the Vice Chancellor, Professor Amikal talking about something mentioned in Washington Post. And good, why not? The world. But do we need to look at Washington Post or New York Times? Our own people in villages, they celebrated when Chandrayaan landed. And when Washington Post says that ladies with Jasmine is our identity. We don't need certificate for anyone, because that very newspaper has been all the time looking something bad on India. West does not look at India invariably in a good light. Even vaccine, when we got the co-vaccine, it is those people who first started saying these vaccines are not reliable. When we talk about democracy, why do we have to say about Abraham Lincoln? Democracy for the people, by the people, of the people. We know Abraham Lincoln was a great slave owner. This person, his own record says that I would be the last person to abolish slavery, but for the fact my priority is to keep the Union together, because the United States were divided into groups. And for that purpose, I have to abolish it. When we talk about democracy, why don't we go to Uttar Meru and see the inscriptions of the 8th and 9th century, which talk so beautifully about our democracy? Why is it that when I see the university professor writing the documents and sending thesis, quoting somebody from Western scholars? Why do we have to have scholars who do the research on comparing Tiruvalluvar with Shakespeare? Is it not a matter of shame? When we have such rich, why do we have this mental colonization? We have to decolonize ourselves. Mahatma Gandhi said on 15th of August 1947, he was not celebrating independence. And when some people of the media went and told him, why are you looking so somber when the whole country is celebrating? He said, look, British have left us only physically, they are still in our mind. This mental colonization that we need validation of all that we do. Look at the West. We need to be prouder. Look at this Tamil literature. Look at the Tamil history. Look at their civilization. When all those countries, all those people were swinging on the mountains, on the trees, look at the Tamil literature. We need to be proud of that. We need to be proud of the wisdom that they have given us. We need to focus more on them and find out ourselves. We need to move forward with a sense of pride. Pride that comes out, which is genuine. It is not a pride based on fiction. India has to grow with Indian values, which we are growing today. A new model is emerging, and the world is looking at India with expectation and hope. If it works in a country which has about 18% of the world, 1.4 billion, 140 crore, if an experiment succeeds in a laboratory of 140 crore, it will succeed in the rest of the world as well. Today we are moving forward with confidence in ourselves, pride in our heritage, and a resolve to be the number one. A couple of days back, Prime Minister he met all the Vice Chancellors virtually, and he addressed. And he started, because he addressed them, that this, our country, when we say that the new world order has to be shaped by India, is being shaped by India. It is an opportunity for us. But how do we shape it best? We have our values, but that's not enough. We have to have the capacity to demonstrate the power of our values, the strength of our values. And we can do so only when this country becomes fully developed. Fully developed. And self-reliant. And that is why we have set a target of 2047. By the country, because this country has lost a lot of time. We have lost a lot of time. We cannot afford to lose any more. So we have to move with a mission. And when the country celebrates the centenary of its independence, India must be the number one country in the world. And who will make it? It is our youth. It is our youth, and that's why when Prime Minister addressed the Vice Chancellors and the academia, he said, get the ideas of the youth. Because of the students sitting here and elsewhere, they are the people who will be building this nation in the next 25 years. By 2047, they will be at the helm of their life and the affairs. Whichever profession, whichever career that they choose, they will be at the helm. And that will decide where they will be. They have to decide it today. And so each one of our youth has to think what he or she can do to make this country great. Get the ideas from them, not from ideas from elderly. Elderly people are there to give ideas, find wisdom in that. But we must listen to what our youth feels and thinks. Every youth should be able to articulate that this is what I would like to become in the next few decades. And these are the circumstances that need to be there. It is their ideas. Many a times elders presume that we know everything. We know the youth. That's not the case. We need to listen to them. We need to get their voice. That is why the portal is Viksit Bharat at 2047, voice of the youth. We need. That is the whole purpose of it. And I urge my young friends, and when I say young friends, it's not only students, but even our faculties, researchers, all those who are in this age group, where you are in an active phase. Today, India is the youngest country in the world, and we are likely to remain young for the next at least 25 to 30 years. So, all of us, it is our responsibility to think and grow ourselves, develop ourselves. Because if each one of you develop, the country will develop. If all the development that is happening in the country is not entirely because of government effort, it's because of individual growth. In innovation, recently, some time back, there was a report of the WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization. The World Intellectual Property Organization has given a report which is a music to our ears. It says India recorded 31% increase in patent application in 2022. 31% increase in patent application. And it also says that never before any country has achieved this. Nowhere. Now, this is the power. This is the power of innovation. This is the power of power. It is this power that will make this country great. And when it makes this country great, and we know that the world knows that this country grows not as a dominating power, but as a friendly power. That's why Prime Minister says, Bharat will be Vishwa Mitra, friend of the world. And that is what we have been demonstrating also. That is what we will continue, because this is our deal. So, we need to take pride in ourselves, in our past, and we must have the resolve to move forward and achieve. And that's why I invariably put a question to our young people, those who are in that age group. My one question, you should keep it in your mind. That on the 15th of August 1947, you ask yourself the question I am asking, what did I do to make this country great? Answer to that question will give meaning to your life, will give a sense of fulfillment to you. And I'm sure you will do that. In the day-long deliberations, many eminent people are here. They will be talking, they will be sharing their thoughts, be interactive, raise questions, and this churning should go on. Churning should go on. Go on with the mission. And I'm sure all of you will be a proud partner, an observer as well as a participant, as anthropologists used to say, an observer and a participant in this rise of this new world order in country. Thank you very much. All the best. Jai Bharat.
Thank you very much, sir, for your informative and thought-provoking presentation. Time to express gratitude. We invite Professor R. Singarve, Registrar of Annamala University, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good morning to all. It gives me immense pleasure in proposing vote of thanks on this special occasion of G20 National Seminar on role of Indian academia in formulating world order. It was a great occasion for all of us here to organize a special seminar on national importance under the guidance of Honorable Governor Chancellor in our great university. I express my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed Honorable Governor Chancellor for being the chief guest of today's function and whose present and enlightened address elevated the essence of this gathering. The presented speech by the Governor Chancellor really illuminated the knowledge and encouraged us to work towards country progress and march towards academic journey. In this context, His Excellency, in your speech, you have enlightened us to develop our own Indian model so as to progress the country. And instead of following the westernized model, which should be more human-centric. So I assure you, sir, this university having multidisciplinary one, including agriculture, engineering, arts, science, and medicine. We will orient our research and education towards development of sustainable technologies which will enhance the livelihoods of these people and the living standard of this region so as to reach the equality among the country, and we take all the advices and the essence of your speech in developing our Indian model and this country, this university with the help of our Vice Chancellor as well as with your guidance will progress in the future. Thank you, sir. I thank our beloved Vice Chancellor, Dr. R.M. Kadresan, Annamala University, whose unwavering support and exceptional leadership has been instrumental in making this event a remarkable success. Thank you, sir. Our sincere thanks extended to Dr. V. Thiruvalluvan, Vice Chancellor of Tamil University, Tanjavur, and Dr. S. Mogan, Vice Chancellor of Puducherry Technological University, for gracing the occasion and accepted to deliver the felicitation address. I extend my sincere thanks to our esteemed speakers, Professor N. Ananthakrishnan, Dr. Veerappan, Professor K. Kadresan, for their valuable presence and insightful contribution to today's lecture. I thank Dr. A. Arun Tambura, District Collector, Kadalur, and Thiru Rajaram, Superintendent of Police, Kadalur, for the help. I thank the Sub-Collector, Thiru Sweta Asman, and the DSP of Chidambaram for extending their help and support. I record my sincere thanks to all the district administration, various state departments, revenue, health, police, fire, Rescue, Municipality and EB for their help and support in successfully organizing this mega program at our university. I thank all the syndicate members, deans, directors, professors, all the teaching and non-teaching staff members for their help and participation in this program. My special thanks to all the PhD scholars and student friends for their active participation in this seminar. I thank all the NCC and the NSS student volunteers. I thank the present media for the support and publicity. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. You know, raise for national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गागे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
I request the audience to please remain in your seats.